your text and I looked through the document. I was like, let me check out these properties, yo. Yeah, because one of the things that I'm trying to do now is kind of like jump on things right then, right? So the old
Mm.
Pelagie would have been like, looked at it real quick. I'll get to that tomorrow. So,
I
but
was surprised. I was like, dang, I'm like, he's showing love.
right, no, but the other thing too is I'm passionate about this stuff too. So I'm
Mm.
like, all right, my man Vic want a crib, let's get him a crib, yo. But
Yeah.
let's jump into that because
Yes, sir.
yeah. So I don't know if you want to go ahead and drive. Just go ahead, ask your questions, man, and we just freestyle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So, man, like, once again, I want to say thank you again for your time and your diligence, but just giving you like an overall context of like where I am and like what I'm thinking about. I'm just like, for me, like, and you kind of touched on it, with the response yesterday, right? Like, there's always the good and the bad with whatever you do. There's the good and the bad when you rent. There's a good and a bad when you get something, get a property, and then you have tenants, right? Boom, boom, boom. The way that I'm thinking about it is like, okay, cool, right? Like originally, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I want to get like a multi-family type of property and then get tenants into it, boom, boom, boom. But again, right, like I don't really have a lot of insight with real estate, but just the little that I know, I'm like, all right, well, probably if I get it, it's going to be a higher mortgage, number one. Number two, I probably have to renovate it. Number two, number three, right? Like it's going to be more time and effort and mental capacity to manage tenants, assuming that they're not the best tenants in the world. So I was just like, I'm not saying that I'm not all for it. I just look at it like, all right, like in a way, worst case scenario, I see it like if I'm not able to get tenants, and yeah, one, if I'm not able to get tenants, well, that's a bigger mortgage to manage. And then number two is like, in a way, I also feel like if I deal with the multifamily, I'm probably tied down to the area for some time, if I'm not able to get cash flow out of it. So I'll just pause there. Like maybe there's things that I'm saying that you need to debunk, right? Or maybe I'm not like, maybe I need to expand my perspective on the way that I'm thinking about it.
No, no. I mean, those are all legitimate concerns, and you know, those are all real issues that can happen. So let's start with
Mm,
the price of a property, though, right?
yeah. Okay.
So if you're getting a multi versus a single, it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna pay more for the multi versus the single,
Okay.
like because all houses are created differently, right? And not
Okay.
even so. You might have a multifamily property you can find for $150,000 or $200,000, but you can find a single for $200,000, right? So it's like that
Mm,
kind of comparison is not really a good comparison.
okay.
Um, what you want to look at, and you mentioned it, is like cash flow. So a couple different things. I would say some of the things you got to look at right now. Are you living at home? You with your parents right now?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. I'll tell you, man, my parents, they've been instrumental in getting me to where I got to, right? Because
Mm,
you're probably like me when I was younger, and the fact that my parents didn't want me to leave, like, because I'm the kind of dude that, I'm making sure stuff is taken care of.
yeah.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah.
chores, showing
Doing
love,
chores,
running
like,
errands,
yeah, like the
cleaning.
car, cleaning, the car messed up, needs to get taken to the mechanic. I'm there, I'm working. I gotta, chip in for bills. I'm there. I'm buying groceries. Like they didn't want me to leave, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're in that situation, that's a great thing, right? Because I use
That's
that
good.
situation to buy properties. My first property, just so you know, bought a property in Jersey.
Mm,
It's a townhome. I lived there for a while, kind of had my girlfriend with me for a second. That didn't work out. So I'm sitting in that property like, this is a big property, yo. Why I gotta be here? Like, I don't really need all this space like that. I'm like, you know what? I'm renting that joint out. Rented it out, went back to my parents, banked some more money, bought another property, was still at my parents, and then I bought another property, and then I moved out. You know what I'm saying? So
Golly.
yeah, I'm telling you. And I wasn't. It was cool because at that young age like that, yo, man, if you got the opportunity, keep that in mind, yo. So anyhow, so back to the cash flow thing, right? The cash flow thing is big, right?
Right.
So I'll tell you a little bit of horror stories, but there are also success stories in this thing.
Okay.
So with a multifamily property, the best thing about a multifamily property is that if let's say you have two tenants in there and one tenant doesn't pay, the other tenant can typically carry the mortgage, right? So yeah. Whereas if you got a single family property and the person isn't paying, then you're carrying the mortgage mostly, right? So I'm gonna tell you a horror story, and this hasn't even happened to me in years and years and years, but I actually got 3 tenants right now that I gotta evict. Like I gotta evict 3 people, and that's not fun. And it takes time out of your day, and it takes, depending on how you do it. Like one of the properties is for my parents. So for that one, I just got a lawyer. I was like, all right, I'll get a lawyer for that one. But for the other 2, which they're part of a triplex that I own, right? So that one, I'm telling you, that's in North Philly, Vic. That property pulls me in a lot of dough, yo. It's bringing in like 20, almost it's like 2840 a month, right? And the mortgage, and the mortgage is literally like $1,400, right? So the hood can bring you in some money, yo. Don't sleep on that, yo. But it's a triplex, so it's 3 units. And the thing that's really saving me is that one of the tenants is good. Her and her partner are paying the mortgage, or not the mortgage, but they're paying their portion of the rent. So I'm only losing a couple $100 while these other 2 tenants are paying, right? Whereas if it's a single family property, that tenant ain't paying, you're not seeing that money. Now, now there's some other things to do with. You can kind of, depending on where your property is, you can go Section 8 where you don't have to deal with that because you get guaranteed money from the government, right? If you want to go down. There are a lot of different routes to go. And honestly, just being honest, that's the route I'm about to go with those 2 tenants in the triplex. Once they're out, I'm just going to go Section 8 because, this whole chasing people for rent, it's not fun when you have to do that. And, it takes time out of your day. So, So the multi, and I talked to David, me and David talk a lot, and he was working on getting a multi, but he kind of paused. But if you can get a multi for your first investment property, I would say go for it. You can't, it's hard to lose with the multis, man. It's hard to lose. You're hedging your bets if you go with a multi. Now, the thing with that is that there are a lot of home buying programs out there, and I could send you some stuff, but you got a lot of different first-time home buying programs. And what these programs do is they'll look at your income. Well, part of it is kind of what you make, depending on your income bracket. But if it's your first time home, they'll say they'll give you $10,000 towards the purchase of your home, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is huge because a lot of reasons why people don't purchase homes is because they're going to say, I can't save up the down payment. I can't save up the closing costs. I just can't save it up. But now if somebody says, okay, here's 10 G's, it's kind of, you shouldn't have an excuse. You know what I'm saying? And, so, you definitely got to look into that if you're serious about buying a home, because that's going to be helpful. Some of them you got to pay back if you leave the home within a certain time frame, but who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like if you do, you pay it back. And some you don't even have to pay back after a certain period of time. So so look into that. But yeah, I would encourage you if you can, and it also depends, right? That depends on. All right, if you're gonna go FHA, you understand what an FHA loan is?
I believe it's like 3% down, 3.5% down.
Yeah, it's for first-time home buyers, right? And it's like 2.5%, 3% down. So if you're going for a $200,000 home, you only got to bring like 6 stacks, right? So 6 stacks for your down payment. But if you got that Philly home grant, all right, then you already got 10 G's, right? So you're gonna need more than that because you got different closing costs, right? So closing costs are gonna be, some transfer taxes, title work, origination fees for the loan, different things like that. So at the end of the day, $200,000 home, you might be coming out 15 stacks, 16, 17. But again, if they give you $10,000 and you only got to find 7 G's, it changes the ball game up, right? It's real different. So so I would say let's talk a little bit about the properties that you sent. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, it's a condo, right? Condos are a little bit different, and the main reason they're different is because they have an association fee and have an association, right? And what that means is that whenever something goes wrong, depending on how it's classified within the condo association governing documents, you can be responsible as a part of the entire association. So I'll tell you this right now. I own a condo in South Philly, Graduate Hospital area. I'm on the board, and we've had issues where, for instance, a roof, right, or a facade, the front of a building is damaged, and because it's called what's called a common element, it's common, so it's not like individual to a unit owner. So for instance, let's say your kitchen faucet or your something happens inside your unit, you're responsible for replacing that. But like a roof, which is common to the building, you know, it can be part of the association. So everybody is responsible for replacing that. So I'll tell you right now, like the association, we have an issue right now where I probably would have sold my unit, but I'm like, man, I'm not going to sell it right now per se, because we have this issue. And if I put it on the market, I'm going to have to disclose that issue to somebody, being that, okay, we have an issue that could potentially cause for the board to create an assessment, which means we are assessing this amount of money to each unit owner because we have to fix this issue, right? So I'm wary of condos in that sense because you never know what it could be, right? You never know what could happen, but you're liable for it. So if something goes wrong, if the repair is $30,000 and there are 10 units, you guys got to come out $3,000 a piece. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be careful with that. I'm not saying that always happens. I mean, that is the rule, but it's not like, you know, things may not go wrong. You never know, right? So I personally right now, with everything I know, I'm not necessarily looking to buy a condo. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you can buy something just as nice right now with the market being what it is, without having to take on that liability with the condo stuff. And then it's also, you have that association fee monthly, right? And that association fee is something that never goes away. It's just going to add to your monthly payment of whatever it is. So now you got a mortgage and an association fee, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes in your situation, that association fee did cover gas, I think I saw. So
gas and water.
Yeah, so that's helpful. You know what I'm saying? So if the association fee is $300 and your gas would have been $70 a month and your water is $100 a month, then you think about it like it's $200 a month. So all right. So that's the only. I wanted to just educate you on the condo world. So, but those properties. Now, hold on. Where do you live?
I live in Fallcroft.
Oh, okay? So that's why you're looking over there. Okay, so you're comfortable. You're comfortable with that. All right.
Because my idea, because the way I'm thinking about it is like, you know, I'm like, all right, like, you know, probably, okay, cool, yeah, maybe I could get a multifamily or a single family, but I'm more like, I kind of have a preference towards like living like still in the suburbs, just like city life. I'm just like, you know, I'm not, but maybe like, I don't know if you have any thoughts on it. If you lived in the city at a certain point, or like just think about parking and just accessibility and just being able to move.
No, I mean, everybody has their preference, right? So right now I got 4 kids, man. I'm not trying to look for no parking. Are you nuts? Like,
exactly.
I'm not doing that. But you know, some people are single. They like the city life. You know, they like to be able to. So if you're not about that life, then that's cool. So what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
and here's the thing. I would encourage you. I think, you know, I would stay away from those condos. Those condos aren't even good deals to me. Like, it's different if it was a
Right.
good deal. Like, none of them are good deals. The only one, the highest one sold for 100,000. That's not a good look.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to actually see. Let's look at multifamilies in your area.
Okay.
Right.
All
So
right.
we
Yeah,
go
let's do that.
um, let's say 0.5 miles, and like, let's put the address of the condos in there. What was the
All
address?
right. The address was 100
Well, you
East.
know what? You know what? Let's not even do that. Let's do it like this. Let me do this. So let's do by zip code.
Oh,
All
all
right.
right. Yeah, that works.
What's your zip code?
19032.
19032. All right. So, look at that. 19032. I only got one match there. Hmm, that's weird. Multi 19032. Golly. Do I have anything? Let me see. 34. Damn. So they don't have much. What'd you say? It was 19 what?
032.
Yeah, damn. That's crazy, yeah. I would have thought they would have more. But. So this is a duplex, 220,000. Let's see what it looks like. It looks like some new construction they haven't built yet. Oh, no, it's not. They get the 4 pound. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, so yeah, this actually looks like a nice spot.
That don't
Yeah,
look bad.
don't look
Oh
bad.
wait, I think I know where that joint at.
Okay. Well, the address is 600 Grant Road, if you know where that.
600. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the map here? So,
Oh, Delmar Drive.
yeah.
Yup, I know where it is. I know exactly. And then that's Glenolden Ave. Yup, I know where it is.
Yeah. So, all
It's,
right. So cool. So this to me looks cool. It's pretty large, 1,760 square feet. Let's see.
mm,
It is condos. It looks like building name condos. Two attached, but it doesn't show me.
is it a condo or a duplex, sir?
Well, it's a duplex, but I don't. But it says zoning is let's see, 72 units. Yeah, building name Kimberly Muse Condos. So that's what I'm saying. But the only thing I'm saying is it doesn't. It's association recreation fee. No. Okay, let's read the details. They got the details. See, they don't really have much details on this. So the previous list price was 250. To it's dropped down to
220.
20, right? So it's been on the market 168 days, which is a long time. So the one thing here, I have to look into this, but I just think they have a condo fee. If it's a condo, they're gonna have a condo fee. They have to. So sometimes
Yeah.
that condo fee can turn people off because depending on if the condo fee is like $650, you're like, what? I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So we just got to find out what that is. But on the onset, this looks good, right? So this is the other thing we're gonna do. So
Mm.
you're talking 220. You might be able to snag this off the market for like 190, man, because it's
Hmm.
sitting there. You
For
never
real?
know, right? You never know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you never know. But that's after I run some numbers. I'm not definitely putting in no offer at 220. Not doing that. So
Right.
here's a thing you need to get familiar
Okay.
with.
Bank rate.
Bank rate mortgage calculator, right?
Okay.
So this is gonna basically show you kind of what your mortgage payment would be. So
Okay.
where is my bank? I want to get bank rate. Where is this? Where did they change it? There we go. like using this one. All right, so that house, so we're gonna run it. We're gonna run it at 220,000, right?
Okay.
So let's just say for some reason they're not coming down off that price. Minimum down payment, you're using your FHA, 2.5%, right? So 5,500 is your down payment. 30-year mortgage is cool. I will tell you a secret though, like if you do a 15-year mortgage, a lot of times, and we can do it right now. So 6.5 is cool. I think that's what the rates are floating at right now anyhow. But you probably can get lower. But let's see, 5,500 to 30 years, right? So you see at 1575, if you do a 15-year, that is a lot more. 1575, 16, you're like $400 extra.
Right.
But your rate will go down. You pay your mortgage off in 15 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to worry about that. It's something you could consider. I will say some of my properties, I ended up changing to 15-year mortgage when the rates were lower. So for instance, if you buy this property today and then, you know, you're doing your thing, you're cash flowing, you know, it's cool. And then a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever, I don't know, 6 months, whatever, you see the rates go down and they're back to the historic lows that we had at 2.5%, 3%. Then you want to refinance, right? Because look at the so look at how so look, this is game right here. You're at 1575, right? So now the rates come down in 2 years. Now let's say you can get it at 3%. Look at what your mortgage comes down to, bro. So that's but peep game. The game is that you already had it at 6.5% and you were paying 1575, right? So now when you drop it, when you refinance because the rates came down, right? And you change it to a 15-year, your payment goes up 25, I mean, not even 75, 85, 90, $20 or whatever, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, $17, whatever it is. So in that case, you might as well just refi it as a 15-year because you were already paying that amount of money, right? But you're gonna pay off the property quicker. And I'm gonna tell you, Vic, one thing I do know is that 10 years seems like a long time, but it's gonna come. It's gonna come. And those were some of the good moves I made because one of my properties, the first one I bought that I told you, I had refinanced that, you know, got it at a low rate. I paid it off down to like 70,000 or maybe even 60 something thousand. And then I was like, man, I want to buy some more properties. So I refinanced it, right? Got like 90,000 out and I bought 4 properties with that $90,000, like different 4 properties or whatever. And then the market, you know, the home market increased. So now, even though I had refied it and got 90,000 out, right now I could either refi or I can sell it and still collect, you know, a good bit of change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of that was because I put it on that 15. I put it on that 15-year and I was able to pay it down quicker, right? So, but again, if you're going multifamily, right? So let's look at this. We'll keep it on a 30-year because that's, you know, I would advise you to go with 30 because the rates are high. Whenever you refinance, that's when you consider dropping it to the 15, right?
Okay.
So your monthly payment right now, interest rates, let's go 6.5, 6.5, 1566. Now, here's the other thing you got to look at. If you got the HOA fees, right? Here, HOA fees, we got to figure that, calculate that because there's on the HOA fee.
Yeah, it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, it's got to be in there, and it's fine. I mean, if it's $300, whatever it is, but we'll find out. That's not hard to find out. Homeowners insurance, you're gonna have to get homeowners insurance. This is basically insuring your home. You know what I'm saying? If something goes wrong, you can't have a home without homeowners insurance. Just like you shouldn't have a car without car insurance, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the property taxes, oh, this is what we should look at because this seems kind of high, 145. If we go here, you can see your property taxes are 4190. So doing some quick math, well, that was hard. That's a high property tax, bro, for Philly. You know what I'm saying? Divided by, well, that's high, 349. But Man, it's high. I would have, like, is the
That
school,
is high.
yeah, that is pretty high. I wonder if the school district, you might know better than I do without looking.
Nah, the school district mid sauce. It's not doing anything spectacular.
Right, right. So that's the thing. If it's a good school district, that's where property taxes are usually higher. So
Oh
340,
yeah, it's near school.
no, no, is it a good school district though?
Not really.
Right. So those are the
So
kind of
I don't
things.
know.
Yeah, and those are the kind of things you look at too, because those are where you have good school districts. Those properties are more desirable because why?
Right.
If I'm moving there with kids, I don't want to have to pay private school, right? I want to be able to just put them in the public school if it's a good school district. So this is going to change your payment a little bit because instead of the property tax being 145 a month, it's going to be 349, right? But that's still not a
Yeah.
deal breaker, right? 1770. You know what? We really got to find out. We got to find out about this damn condo fee. So let's see if I can find this
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So this is 600 Grant Road. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some other listings. 600 Grant.
And like if I go on Zillow, would I be able to see this listing as well, or this is a special like
No, you
directory?
see how this says ACT? That means it's active. So you should definitely see it on.
Okay.
So real quick,
All right.
I'm on the MLS. You know, since I got my license in PA and in Pennsylvania and Jersey, I get access to what's called the multiple listing service, and this is where every other site and platform pulls their data from, right? Because
Interesting.
as a realtor, let's say I'm going to sell a home, or somebody says, "Hey, Falaj, you know, I want to sell my home," and you get into an agreement with, you know, any realtor gets into agreement, then you sign the contract and then you put it on the multiple listing service, and within like 24 hours, Zillow, Redfin, you know, all those Trulia, whatever, they're going to now grab that data and then put it on their site. So
Yeah.
that's where they get the data from.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything here is the true stuff and the latest and greatest. Okay, so 600 Grant Road. So what I want to do, let's go back here and let's go. Well, you know what I can do? What is this condominium name? It said Kimberly Muse Condos. Let's see if we can search for that.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it. Let's see if it's here.
Let's do this. And 21 miles of Fullcroft.
Golly. So the Grant Road that we're looking at, I guess it's not funny to the person, but someone bought it in April of 22 at $850K.
Mm.
So then they listed it for sale for $250.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is. I'm gonna look in here in a second to see exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense unless they bought
does
like
not.
unless they bought like multiple, like maybe they bought a couple of them. So let's see here. Let's do close and let's do within 9 matches. All right, cool. So these are all the stuff that's sold within a couple of years. You see, so there you go. That is, I'm just showing that 850K. But that doesn't make sense anyway. So I have to read the details of that. I actually want to read the details of that. Sorry, you gotta give me a second. Let me see how they paid 850K for this. 2-bedroom units, 5 units, package of 10 investment units. So he bought 10 of them. That's what happened.
Oh, so 85 each. Not bad.
So he might own all of these joints, or whoever. So this
Jeez.
one, you see what they sold for in 2020. This one sold for 100. 2022, this one sold for 160.
Mm.
And that was in November, right? So the only thing is you got to look at it. Sometimes it's like the condition, right? So let's see what condition this. 8 pictures. See that when they don't show you no pictures of the inside, that's a hint.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah. So
Young
let's see.
boys.
Yeah, investment, each unit, 1 bathroom, month. Okay, look, we found it though. That's what we're looking for. Monthly association fee,
Per
$150 per
unit.
unit. But that's not bad though.
Yeah.
Convenient, minutes from Philly. Okay, so that's what we needed. So let's go back to our bank rate, right? So basically, homeowners insurance, you're looking at 150. So your payment is right around 1920.
Okay.
So and that's facts. That's really what's going to be, unless you're going to put more money down than this 5,500, then you can lower your payment. I wouldn't even advise that. But 1920. So here's the key, Vic. What we got to find out is what the rents are going for in that area, right? So let's find that out. So you can figure out what you can get per unit.
I think
So
like that's 950-ish.
okay, and you're probably right. So this is 880. This is square footage 880, so that's cool. So let's see the one you're looking at. Let's see what the square footage is here. And it's 2 units, square footage above grade is 846 per unit. So 840, and it's a two bedroom units, right? So, and I looked at because it says here two bedroom units. So what we're going to do here is now we're going to go to residential lease. And we're going to say within 0.25 miles of 600 Grant Road. Thumbs up full crop. You got 0 matches. Let's see if there's anything that closed recently. Nothing, right? So, okay, let's do it in a year. 360. Got 1 match, but let us increase our radius. So 6 properties. So let's do that and see what we got. You got, there you go. You got a 1 bedroom unit. These are kind of far away though. But 1 bedroom.
100 East. That's where we were. That's where we were looking at. That's the property I sent you originally.
That's the other one. That's the other one. You're right. I know that looked real familiar. So then you got 1,100. These are 1 bedroom units, but you have a 2 bedroom unit. So you're probably going to get more than 1,100. So, but you know what we can do? That's not even the best assessment. What we're going to do is we're going to come back to multifamily, and let's see if we can. You're not going to get the lease though. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's the best we can do on that as far as what you get for rent. But I mean, it's still good. I would say, depending on how nice the unit looks. Actually, let's go back and see exactly.
Yeah.
So huge basement. See, and there's your two units, 2 furnaces, 2 hot water heaters. They got a washer and dryer. These are your 2 gas services here, the meters. I mean, this looks pretty good. I mean, it probably doesn't look as good in person as far as like the walls and stuff like that. But it's decent enough, yo. It's very decent enough. Where I think you definitely can get for a 2 bedroom unit. You're gonna get 1,100 all day because these are big units. So it might be more around the $1,250, $1,300 mark. So if you look at that, 1,300 a unit, and if you like this area, you know what I'm saying? That means potentially, if your mortgage is 2 Gs, you know, you could buy a unit. I mean, buy it, rent one out for 1,300, and you only paying $700 a month.
Right.
And then when you decide to leave, if you decide to at some point, you put another tenant in there, and you're getting 26, and you cash flowing 600. Yeah, it's cash flowing $600 a month. So I would definitely look more into this than I wouldn't even touch the other one. You know? Yeah, I'm gonna send you this real quick.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk like that. Yeah, and it's not much in that area. You saw it was the only thing that popped up.
Yeah.
So, but 160 days, if you really bought it. So the other thing you got to do is have you looked into getting a pre-approval document? Do you know what that is?
I have no clue what that is.
Yeah. So what happens is when people want to buy homes, they got to get qualified. Unless you have a couple 100,000 or whatever, how much money the house costs sitting in your bank account, and you're ready to use that money. Hold on. What's your email again?
Ario90@gmail.
Okay. And if you do want to, if like you're serious and you want to go see it, I can always go show it to you too.
Perfect. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'll take some. I'll look through the document, and then like, most likely though, I'll probably want to go tour it. Just not only like, not even if I'm not even gonna get it, but just like, you know, being able to walk with you, like, yo, this is what you need to look at. Yo, check this out. Like, boom, 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 boom. Like, hey, maybe you would want to do this. Maybe you want to change that. You know, just learning the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, man, I'm there for you, bro. So yeah, so when you want to buy the home, this is kind of the process. The process is, again, if you're not sitting there, which many people aren't, with all this cash in your bank account, you go get a loan from a lender, right? So you got to be qualified, and qualification starts with what? Credit, right? You know, they're going to check your credit. Typically, if you got a 620 or higher, you're okay. The higher your credit score, the better off you are, the better rate you're going to get, and the more likely you'll get approved, right? They're also going to be looking for like 2 months of income statements from your job to make sure you have a steady job. They'll ask how many years you've been at the job, but as long as you've been there for like a year or whatever, it might be less, whatever. That's not an issue. And they just want to make sure that, but they're going to look at all your kind of like your recurring bills, right? They wouldn't, if you were sitting in an apartment or a place where you're renting, they wouldn't count that against you. That would actually, they wouldn't use that in the calculation as your debt, because they know that you're going to use that to be paying the mortgage, right?
Yeah.
But as far as they're looking at your car payment, looking at your credit card payments, I think they look at student loans and different things like that. And then they'll come up with, okay, you know what? With all the information you've given us, we will pre-approve you for a certain amount of money, right? And then they'll give you a document that says, okay, Victor is approved for this amount of money. So what that tells people is that, okay, this guy has buying power, right? Now, if you really did like that place, or you find another place you like and you want to put in an offer, you say, okay, you know what? I would like to offer you $195,000 for this property. You know, this is my pre-approval letter. I will put an earnest money deposit down. An earnest money deposit is basically a deposit you put down to show that you're serious. You could lose that if, you know, you don't try to get a mortgage, or you're just playing around kind of thing. So you now can put all these things in the offer and say, hey, I would like to offer you this. Now the agent that's representing the seller, he's going to say, hey, seller, I got an offer in on your property. Take a look at it. The seller might be like, okay, you know what? Depending on what situation they're in, they might be like, I'm tired of this, man. I just want to get the hell out of here. They might say, all right, I'll take it at this price, right? Or they'll counter and say, okay, how about this? or they'll reject the offer because it's too low, you know, and you can submit another offer, whatever.
Yeah.
But with that pre-approval document, that is really your ticket to get into the game. Otherwise, if you just saying, "Hey guys, I'll offer you 190,000," they're gonna be like, "Do you have a bank statement showing me you have 190 G's in your account? Did you show? They call it proof of funds, or do you have a pre-approval letter, right?"
Yeah.
So, and to get that, Vic,